Hi, good evening. Austin Mayor Steve Adler. We're going to go over some COVID notes. We're going to talk about vaccine. I've asked the folks that have been using the Austin Public Health website to give us some tips on negotiating that system. They continue to work on it to make it better, but I'm going to give you some tips here tonight on that, in addition to a few other tidbits. But let's begin with the numbers, and we'll start off with the key indicators that are used by Dr. Escott to do the staging areas. Tomorrow he's going to be talking to the City Council and to the County Commissioner's Court. He'll be talking about these numbers, but let's go ahead and talk about them now. Number of new admissions, 31. Remember, we were moving down below 30. Yesterday, we were at 25 admissions. It looked like we were beginning to move down below and to own the area in yellow. Just a few days ago, we were down at 26. But this 31, little concerning. It takes our 7-day moving average that had been heading down. We had gone to 27. It's now just over 29, 29.2 or something like that, I think. I know that Dr. Escott had been thinking about moving us into stage 3 tomorrow. I think he may have some reservations about doing that now. We'll hear him talk tomorrow. Part of the reservation, I would imagine, is that we're concerned about the number of people that might be taking off their masks on Wednesday. Confused by the governor's taking off of the mandate, thinking maybe that means masks aren't necessary anymore. They still are, or they're not effective, except that they are. It's really the easiest and most simplest thing we can do to ensure that we're going to be able to keep schools open for more and more students in person, open up businesses more and more. But we don't know exactly how the public's going to react to that. And there is some concern about bars opening up 2 days before spring break. Perhaps the number of folks that are in bars without masks, which is something that Dr. Escott says he believes to be real problematic. Number of new cases today, 104. A couple of days ago, it was at 82. We're still below the 7-day moving average. Hopefully, we can continue to hold on to that number. Let's take a look at the other dashboard that talks about the number of people that are in our hospitals and in our ICUs, so that we can just see where we are with respect to those levels. You can see the number hospitalized, 228. That is below the 7-day moving average of 232. You can see ICUs, 72. That's the number of folks that are in ICUs. That's one above the 7-day moving average. We have been staying pretty consistently below the 7-day moving average. Ventilators at 55. The 7-day moving average is 52. So it looks like we're no longer headed down the same way. It looks more like we're plateauing. And I know that is of concern to Dr. Escott. Again, he'll be talking to the joint session tomorrow, and I'll be able to report back to you tomorrow evening. It may very well be, check that got a minute, starts a half an hour early tomorrow, could start at 6:30. So take a look at that, because I may need to be doing something else at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I wanted you to see those, the flattening out. Remember the last time we looked at the UT modeling, we were seeing lines which pointed down pretty significantly, which was a real good sign. We were celebrating that and saying that we hoped we would be able to hold on to that. Here is the University of Texas modeling, the RFactor at 0.7. is good. It had gotten down to 0.5, went up to point like 0.83. Now it's at 0.7, which is good. But notice that the line is more flat now. It's still heading down, but in the projected time out front, it's heading down, but it's pretty flat. That's hospital admissions. This is total number of people in the hospital census. This is ICU patients. It's still headed down, but it's flatter than it had been in the past. This is a graph of the RFactor. You can see it was up in June. This is a period of time here in January. We were looking at numbers. This was us forcing it down. February 20th, but you can see here in the last few days, the number has been pretty flat in this market, in this area here. But we'll have Dr. Escott. He'll talk to us about that tomorrow. So let's talk for a little bit about vaccines. This past weekend, we were able to get out a lot of vaccines, over 20,000 just in the weekend, 10,000 at COTA, 10,000 Austin Public Health. And that doesn't even count all the vaccines that are going out in other places in the city. Austin Public Health got out over 30,000 last week. We have our normal supply at Austin Public Health coming in at 12,000. I think COTA is going to gear up, might have an elevated number, more than just the 10. That's that 4-county operation focusing on community care folks. So we're continuing to get out the vaccines just as quickly as we can get them, and we're still trying to get more. Austin Public Health is releasing some first dose appointments tonight. And its weekly release will have first dose appointments for the entire week of operations this week. First dose appointments. If additional doses become available, they'll release some additional appointments on Thursday evening of each week. So pay attention to Thursday. I had asked some folks real familiar with the Austin Public Health System to give us some tips. First tip is right now appointments are only going to those that are in groups 1A or 1B. So if you're not able to get into the queuing system, it may be because you're not eligible, because you're not in group 1A or in group 1B at this point. As more vaccines become available in the coming months, in the coming weeks probably, more people are going to become eligible. Or if you're folks like me that turn 65 here in the coming weeks, you'll also become eligible because you will have aged into an eligible group. Tip number 2, hey, when it's your turn, it may take you to the login screen. And if that happens, just log back in and continue to schedule. Know that you have not lost your spot. So if you're eligible when it's your turn, they could ask you to log back in. Do that, you won't lose your spot. Some people find themselves clicking next to a time. That probably means that too many people are trying to select that same time slot. Until that glitch is removed, the suggestion is that you click on the home icon in the upper left-hand corner. It's the icon for schedule a first dose vaccine. I can schedule, reschedule, or cancel a first dose vaccine, but the important words for you would be click on that schedule first dose vaccine and select a new time slot. Don't hit the back button in your browser. Just go to that upper left-hand corner, click schedule, first dose vaccine, and it'll get you to a position to be able to select a new time. Just don't keep clicking next over and over again if you're on that loop. Here's an important one. Please make sure if you're trying to get a vaccine that you're scheduling getting a vaccine. There's another nearby button that asks you if you want to schedule a COVID-19 test. And we're finding some people aren't really paying attention well enough, and they click schedule a test when really they're trying to schedule a vaccine. and they end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. So pay close attention. Make sure if you want a vaccine that you're clicking on the vaccine button. If you get asked to enable cookies while you're in the queue, we suggest that you enable those while you're in the queue. This will help you hold your place in line if for whatever reason you get logged out. Cookies are small bits of information. They help websites remember that you've logged in, perhaps to store your personal preferences for that website. But we urge you to go ahead and do that on this site just in case you get logged out, so it helps you get back. If you want to find some additional vaccine providers, and most of the vaccines in our area are being given out by other than Austin Public Health, go to centraltxvaccs.org. That's centraltxvaccs.org. Let me see if I can put that in the site here to take a look at. Let's see if I can do that. There it is, centraltxvaccs.org. And that's another place that you can go to find additional folks in the community that are giving out vaccines. Again, most of the vaccines in our community are being given out other than by Austin Public Health. Masking, again, please keep wearing a mask regardless of what happens with the state mandate. This is something that's part not only of the order in the past that the county judge, and I have in our orders, but also Dr. Escott in his orders, which happen independent of the emergency orders. Virtually every person dealing with the data and the doctors are telling us it's what we should and should be doing. And I hope that we do. A lot of people and businesses are sharing their stories for why they're going to continue to mask. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Put it on there. I'm real appreciative of the businesses that are continuing asking their employees to mask. I'm appreciative of the businesses that ask their customers to continue masking, because businesses have that ability to control. But appreciate you going on social media to let us know why it is that it's something that you're doing. It's hashtag MaskUpATX, hashtag MaskUpATX, shown right there, to let us know. We're highlighting some of the things that we're seeing folks put on that site. We are still involved in the winter storm recovery. This morning, early in the morning, I joined Mayor Felicia Coffey and one of her colleagues on the Collingdale, Pennsylvania City Council. She delivered over 58,000 bottles of water to the Central Texas Food Bank to distribute to Austinites that are facing water shortages related to damage caused by the recent storm. So here's a borough that is just outside of and west of Philadelphia. She was watching what was happening in Texas on the news and decided she was going to do something about it. So she asked some of the members of her community, you know what the population is in Collingdale? Little over 8,000 people. But she started asking folks in her community if they would donate a case of water. She reached out to some of the other boroughs in and around Philadelphia if they would donate some cases of water. And the next thing she knew, people were showing up delivering pallets of water. She gathered all those up. She put them on 2 trucks and had those 2 trucks drive to Austin from Pennsylvania. And today I met her together with the Mayor Pro Tem, Harper Madison, and with Council Member Fuentes. The 3 of us welcomed Mayor Coffey and Council Member Green. We welcomed them home to Austin. We thanked them, asked them to thank the community there in Collindale and in the area around Philadelphia for really reaching out and helping that way. More and more of a disaster this size, we're seeing that it is neighbors helping neighbors. Government action is real important, but on a disaster this large, it's really all of us helping one another. It's really up to us as individuals and people. Again, that's why we should wear masks. It's not the government rules or mandates or not mandates. It's what we do to help one another. And the folks at Collindale we're just so appreciative of what they did for us. If you are in need of resources with respect to broken pipes, we have organizations that are in town right now that are bringing in volunteer plumbers from around the country to help. So these are folks that are willing to donate their trade and skills for us, no charge. We want you to be able to find them if you have a water issue. But if you have and need resources, here's the website to go to, austintexas.gov/weatherinfo. And you'll find on that page lots of links to lots of different kinds of things that we need. And then finally, what this disaster has shown us, among the many things that it's shown us, is that we need more skilled trade workers in our city. Workforce Solutions Capital Area is providing no cost, fast track training for eligible residents to enter in-demand skilled trades like plumbing. And it's a great opportunity for people. Maybe you were in the hospitality industry that's hard hit right now, haven't been able to work. Maybe you want to try something different. Here's the website to go to, reworknow.org/Austin. Reworknow.org Austin. In just a matter of a few weeks, with training that is free. They can also provide help with childcare and other support so that you can take advantage of this training. You can find yourself an entirely new career. So if you know anybody that's looking, now is the time to retrain. Fast, free, there's support and assistance, and it can change people's lives. With that, again, check for tomorrow. I think God a Minute may start a half an hour early at 6:30. You all take care, be safe, and good night.